Welcome to lesson 4 of Introduction to Tapping. Thank you so much for joining me again. I hope that practicing my method has been helpful for you. Today we're going to talk about tapping for insomnia, how to use tapping to improve sleep and to fall back asleep when you wake up in the middle of the night. You may want to listen to this lesson closer to bedtime. If you have been experiencing trouble falling asleep, I would encourage you to try tapping using my method, which we discussed in the last lesson, maybe 30 minutes to an hour before bedtime. You may not want to do this right as you are getting into bed, as tapping can be stimulating for some people. But try it out a few different ways and see what works best for you. So you could grab a notebook and write down anything that you are worried or excited about, any thoughts you can't seem to shake before bed, problems that you're trying to solve, and any thoughts or worries that you have about falling asleep or getting a good night's rest. Writing about these things can help you move some of the overstimulating energy out of your system. And once you've done that, you can then move into tapping. So use my method to tap through all of the issues or thoughts that are keeping your mind activated. And when you feel calmer, you can then tap on any worries that you have about falling asleep. We'll do a practice round on this. And after that practice, I will walk you through tapping on waking up in the middle of the night and how to get yourself back to sleep. Okay. So start by rating yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 on how worried you are about falling asleep, with 0 being no worries and 10 being the most anxious. And take a note of that number. And this is probably the only tapping where I will not encourage you to drink a lot of water because you don't want to have a full bladder before bed, right? Okay, so tapping on the side of the hand. Create a few setup statements specific to your situation. And here are a few examples. Even though I'm afraid that I won't be able to fall asleep quickly, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though it's not always easy to fall asleep, I accept and forgive myself. Even though I'm afraid that I'm not going to get enough sleep, and I'm afraid that will affect my day tomorrow, I'm choosing to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I worry that I might not sleep at all, I accept that I am feeling this way and I honor these feelings. Even though I've been worried about sleep, I choose to relax now. Okay, great. Pause and take a breath here. I have found that one of the most effective and transformative things that a person can do when we experience a bout of insomnia is to be incredibly compassionate, patient, and forgiving with ourselves. This is not the time to criticize yourself. Being frustrated or disappointed with ourselves is not going to help us sleep better. And worrying about not sleeping or the after effects of insomnia is certainly not helping us either. We need to be really loving and accepting when this happens, when we have insomnia, when we can't sleep. Remind yourself that even if you don't sleep well, you'll still be okay. You will be safe and you will get through the day. Okay. Once you've tapped through your setup statements, take some more time to tap through any fears and symptoms and any other things on your mind, giving them a voice and acknowledging them compassionately without judgment. So if you would like to, you can pause here and do your own tapping, or you can continue on with me. All right, now we can then let those worries know that you will come back to them tomorrow if they really need your attention. All right, let's try this. You can keep tapping on the side of the hand, or you can move into the full round of tapping points, repeating after me with each phrase. Even though my mind has been busy, even though I'm having trouble letting go of these thoughts, I'm ready to release this for tonight. I'm choosing to let it go. I'm making space for rest. If I need to, I can come back to these thoughts in the morning. But I can't solve all the world's problems at this hour. So I'm choosing to relax. It is safe for me to rest now. It's safe to let it go. I'm releasing these thoughts like helium balloons. I see them moving further and further away. My mind is resting now. I am safe. I am calm. I am relaxing even deeper. Okay, take a deep breath. And if you need to, keep tapping through any additional thoughts or sensations that are coming up for you until you feel a shift into a more relaxed state, maybe until your number gets below a 5. Now, some of you might be thinking, tapping can be as stimulating as it is calming. And maybe this modality is not a good fit for bedtime. What if tapping makes me feel more awake? And anytime you feel like tapping is overstimulating, maybe before bed or during a panic attack, please listen to your body. You can slow down the pace of the tapping. You can lighten the touch of the tapping. Or you can choose to just softly massage the acupoints instead of tapping on them. Or again, you can simply just imagine in your mind that you are tapping gently on these points. All of these options are still very effective. Another thing to consider is the pace and tone of your speaking or thinking while tapping. If you are tapping before bed, try and see if you can slow down your thinking or speaking a little bit. Maybe even lower your voice a notch as you slow your tapping pace. On the flip side of that, if you were tapping for energy or confidence, you might try using a more excited tone and pace. Okay, let's talk about those of us who tend to wake up in the middle of the night, that's me, and need support falling back asleep. This used to happen to me all the time. I would wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes with anxiety, and I would start thinking about how terrible it was that I was awakened and my mind would go into full rumination until I trained myself to fall back asleep easily. Here's how I overcame this. First, I got into the practice of making sure that I keep my eyes closed if I wake up in the middle of the night. Opening the eyes can trigger the circadian hormone melatonin. So try and get to the practice of keeping your eyes closed and not peeking at the clock or your phone. Secondly, I do some very light tapping on the point just above the eyebrow. You can tap on any point, but I found that this is one that is the easiest for me to access gently while I'm sleeping on my side. It's also the one least likely to shake the bed and disturb my partner. And I will repeat the phrase, I am sleeping, I am sleeping, I am sleeping, over and over while tapping until I fall back asleep. And after having practiced this so often, I am usually able to fall back asleep within a few seconds. So keep practicing this until it becomes easy for you. I am sleeping. I am sleeping. I am sleeping. In a soft and nurturing tone. I'm getting sleepy just now talking about it. By the way, if I have to get up and use the restroom in the middle of the night, I'll keep my eyes closed as much as I can safely do so while repeating the phrase, I am sleeping, I am still sleeping, I am still sleeping, as I am walking to and from the restroom. And finally, one of the most powerful hacks that I have created for myself is to immediately flip any script of rumination that surfaces when I awake. I'm not just compassionate with myself, I lean into joy and excitement about waking up. That really tricks my brain, especially when I'm having anxiety. For example, when I wake up and I'm having a lot of thoughts that I can't seem to quiet, I'll say to myself, oh, hey, you must be so excited to talk to me, to wake me up this early. You have so many great ideas, you can't even wait until the morning. You are so clever. And this trick helps me avoid worry and spiraling into anxiety that will make it even harder for me to fall back asleep. If I do wake up with intense anxiety, I will tap on whatever thoughts I'm having and give myself a big dose of compassion and acceptance and allow myself to have a good cry if needed. Sometimes we need to do that in order to release the stress that our body has stored up. Anxiety is a physical manifestation of stress, so it's important to give it a physical mechanism for release. So, depending on how alert you are when you wake up, you can try a light single point tapping with a simple phrase like, I am sleeping, I am sleeping, I am sleeping, or even, I can't sleep, I can't sleep, I can't sleep. Repeating that over and over until you fall back asleep. If you're really alert and ruminating, you may need to talk yourself through what's on your mind while doing a full round of tapping until you release that issue and lower your cortisol again. Okay. These are just a few of my sleep tricks. Try them out in different ways, keep practicing, and soon you will be a pro at sleeping well. I fall asleep almost instantly these days and have been getting a solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep thanks to tapping. If you need more support, I also recommend listening to a body scan or a yoga nidra for sleep meditation before bed, or if you wake up in the middle of the night, and I'll link to some of my favorite ones below. These types of meditations will help you get out of your head and into your body. Sleep is so precious, sacred, and so important, and I'm wishing you deep sleep. And I hope you can join me for our next lesson where I will introduce you to tapping for reducing pain and physical symptoms. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would love to hear them. And until then, keep tapping and sweet dreams.